The arrow split the air before anyone saw it coming. It struck the ground between two soldiers, one Egyptian, one Korean, and both men froze, chests heaving, swords half-drawn. The silence that followed was the loudest thing on Oramile. Hey, if you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button right now because this story is going to shake you. Like this video and drop in the comments, where are you watching from? Now let's go. Pharaoh Kamose stepped forward from his side of the border, his dark skin catching the afternoon sun like polished stone. He was a tall man, broad-shouldered, wearing his double crown and a white linen kilt with gold trim. His eyes were slow and heavy, the eyes of a man who had never lost a war. "Tell your emperor," he said in Egyptian, his voice low and even, "that the next arrow will not land in the ground." His translator repeated it in Korean. Across the border, Emperor Joon-Won did not flinch. He stood in his deep crimson robes, his hands folded behind his back, his face carved from patience. He looked at Kamose for a long moment. "Tell the pharaoh," he said quietly, "that my arrows do not miss." The two men stared at each other. Neither blinked. The island breathed between them, heavy with heat and gold dust. That was the third confrontation that week. Prince Haewon watched from behind the Korean line, jaw tight. He was 22, lean and sharp-eyed, dressed in his training robes. He did not like any of this. He had not liked it from the first day their ships docked on Oram Isle and found Egyptian banners already planted in the golden sand. But his feelings did not matter. He was a prince. He was expected to be silent and obedient and ready to fight. He mounted his white horse Dabbit and rode back to camp without a word. That evening, unable to sleep, he slipped out alone. Just him and Dabbit, moving quietly along the island's river path in the dark. He heard the horse before he saw it. A black horse, enormous and panicked, was tangled in rope near the river's edge. And there, hanging from a collapsed bank above the water, one hand gripping a root, was a girl. "Hey!" Haewon shouted. She looked up. Her eyes were fierce even then, even while dangling over rushing water. Her coiled hair was half loose from its gold rings, her white linen dress soaked at the hem. He jumped from Dalbit without thinking and grabbed her wrist. She pulled against him first, actually pulled away, before the root snapped, and she had no choice but to grab him back. He hauled her up with everything he had, and they both collapsed onto the bank, breathing hard. She sat up immediately and looked at him like he had done something offensive. "I had it," she said in Egyptian. He blinked. "What?" She pointed at herself. "I had it." He pointed at the river, then at her, then made a falling gesture with his hand. She stared at him. Then, slowly, her mouth twitched. She almost smiled. Almost. Her black horse, Kamose, had calmed down and was now sniffing Dalbit's nose with great interest. The two horses circled each other slowly, like old friends. Haewon watched the horses, then looked at her. "Haewon," he said, pointing to himself. She studied him for a moment. "Nefari," she said. That was the beginning. If this story is already pulling you in, smash that like button right now. We are just getting started. They met 6 more times after that. Always. In the island's interior, away from both camps, where the trees were thick and the gold in the river stones glittered like stars in shallow water. They could not fully speak each other's language, but they learned fast. She taught him Egyptian words while drawing pictures in the dirt. He taught her Korean by acting things out, which made her laugh so hard she had to cover her mouth. He had never heard a laugh like hers. It came from somewhere deep. She had never met someone who listened the way he did. Like what she said actually mattered. Like she was not just a pharaoh's daughter to be managed and married off. But war does not wait for young people to fall in love. The fourth border conflict ended with 3 Egyptian soldiers wounded and 2 Koreans. Pharaoh Kamose summoned his generals and his voice shook the tent walls. "We did not sail for 40 days to share this island with anyone," he said. "This gold belongs to Egypt. To our gods. To our people." He paused. No more waiting. In the Korean pavilion, Emperor Joon-Won unrolled a scroll and began writing an ultimatum by candlelight. His hand was steady. His heart was not. He had not wanted bloodshed. But he had also not come this far to turn back. Haewon stood outside his father's tent and heard every word. His stomach dropped. He thought about Nefari. About the way she rode Kamose at full speed along the shore like she owned the wind. About the way she said his name now, perfectly, in a voice that was becoming the clearest sound on the whole island. He could not let this happen. He went to her that night, breaking every rule. She was already at their meeting spot, sitting on a rock with her knees pulled to her chest. "My father is planning to attack," he said. She looked up. "Mine too," she said. They sat in silence. "Nefari." He turned to face her. "If this war starts, I do not know how to stop it." "Then we stop it," she said. Simple. Final. He stared at her. "How?" "We go to them. Together. Both of us." His breath caught. "They will never accept it." "Maybe not," she said. "But they will see us. And they cannot unsee us." Stop right there. Comment where you are watching from right now. This story is real. Let's go. Before they could act, the general who had been suspicious of Nefari's long rides made his report to Pharaoh Kamose. He described the Korean prince, the secret meetings, the laughter he had heard from a distance. Kamose did not speak for a long time after that. Then he stood up and his voice came out like thunder pressed flat. "Bring her to me." Nefari stood before her father and did not lower her eyes. He looked at her with a hurt so deep it had turned into anger. "You went to the enemy," he said. "My blood. My daughter." "He is not my enemy," she said. "He is Korean. He pulled me from a river. He listens to me. He sees me." Her voice broke just slightly. "Do you know how rare that is, father?" Kamose turned away. "You are confined to quarters. You do not leave. You do not ride." She said nothing more. But when the guard brought her to her tent, she untied Kamose, tucked a rolled papyrus into his mane with drawings only Haewon would understand, and released him into the dark. The horse found Dalbit before morning. Haewon read her message and made his decision. He walked into his father's chamber without being summoned, which was something he had never done. "Father," he said, "I need you to hear me." The emperor looked up slowly. Something in his son's face stopped him from sending him away. "There is a girl," Haewon said. "She is the Pharaoh's daughter. She is brave and brilliant, and she is the reason I have not been able to sleep for 3 weeks." He exhaled. "And I believe if you and Kamose actually spoke, not through arrows or ultimatums, you would find that you are more alike than either of you can tolerate." The storm came the next morning. It came without warning, ripping through both camps with a fury that did not care about crowns or gold or borders. Tents collapsed. The river surged. Horses screamed. And in the chaos, Haewon rode Dalbit straight into the Egyptian camp to help. Nefari broke from her quarters and ran to her people, shouting orders, pulling children from falling structures. They found each other in the middle of it all, rain-soaked, running in the same direction. That was when both fathers saw them. Side by side. Not as enemies. Not as strangers. As two people who had chosen each other in the middle of a storm. When the rain stopped, Kamose and Joon-Won sat across a fire together for the first time. No swords. No translators needed anymore. Just two tired kings watching their children hold a world together that they had almost broken. Kamose spoke first. "Your son is either very foolish or very brave." Joon-Won almost smiled. "With respect, Pharaoh. So is your daughter." The agreement they signed the next morning gave Al to both nations equally. Half under Egyptian law. Half under Korean law. And at the bottom, in both hieroglyphics and Hangul, the names of two young people whose love had outlasted every wall their fathers tried to build. Kamose and Dalbit were the first ones down the Golden Shore when the gates opened. Black horse and white horse, running together like they had always known the way. If this story moved you, like this video right now. Subscribe so you never miss another one. And drop in the comments, where are you watching from? See you in the next story.